Hey, welcome back to How to Barbecue Right. I'm Malcolm Reed. Today I'm going to show you how I do jerk pork. I'm starting with the 8-pound pork butt that I had my butcher cut into thirds. Think super thick pork steaks. We're going to get it seasoned with this jerk rub we're going to put together and then get it on some smoke. You know I got to put a spicy jerk glaze on it at the end, and then we're going to have some island deliciousness to eat. Let's get to cooking. So for this recipe, we're using the Boston butt. It's just been cut. I went and talked to my butcher, told him what I was doing, and I wanted it cut into thick roast. And that's the pork butt is perfect for it, but you really could use any cut of pork. If you wanted to use the picnic or loin, you could do this recipe and make jerk pork because it's really just about smoking the pork and breaking it down and then putting that sweet glaze on it at the end. Now what we're gonna do first is get some seasonings on it. There's a lot of great jerk rubs out there, but it's simple to make one. I mean, it's just a few ingredients. I'll throw them right up on the screen and you can put up together your own rub. What really makes it is that combo of that cinnamon and allspice, nutmeg and clove. That gives it that island flavor. I'm just gonna take our rub here, put it over in a little dredge to get an even coat on these pork butts. And we're just gonna get the seasoning. There's nothing to it. Just wanna get a good coat on them. And I just love the way it smells. I mean, it just reminds me going to the Caribbean. Once we get a good coating of the jerk rub on one side, we're just gonna flip these big, thick pork steaks over. We're gonna get plenty of this good rub on the back side as well. Get the edges, just hold them up. So now we've got all that seasoning on the pork. It just needs to hang out a little bit while we fire up our cooker. Now you could do this overnight, let those flavors intensify. It'd be kind of like a dry brine. It's gonna take about 30 minutes for the grill to come up today, and that's gonna be plenty of time, but really it's better overnight. And this is taking the place of like a traditional jerk marinade. You're getting all those great flavors, they're working their way into the pork. It's gonna be excellent. We're gonna fire that pit up, get it on some smoke. So for this recipe today, I'm firing up my drum smoker, and I love the flavor that a drum pit gives pork. Those meat juices just drip down on the coals, and as they evaporate and come up, it really puts some flavor deep down in the meat. I'm using B&B lump charcoal to get the fire going. Just got a couple fire starters on there. Then I just set the basket right down in the bottom of the drum and keep everything wide open until those coals get good and hot. After about 15-20 minutes, you want to shut the lids and adjust the vents. And we're looking to bring the drum to about 275 to 300 degrees. It's going to be perfect for cooking this jerk pork, and you can use any pit for this recipe. Just hold those temps steady between 275 and 300. All right, we've got the drum up to 275. I added a couple pieces of hickory wood just to give us some nice smoke for this jerk pork. Traditionally, if you had pimento wood, it would be awesome with this recipe. I don't have any here, so I'm just making do with my grill wood. But you just want to run the pit at 275. Get these giant pieces of pork steak on there, pork roast, whatever you want to call it. It's just pork butt cut up. Got that good jerk rub on them. And we're just going to let them cook. And it's going to need about 3 hours to get some good bark going on it. We're going to flip it about every hour just to make sure we're cooking both sides even. We'll come back in just a little bit and show you what it looks like. All right, our pork's been on for about an hour, and I just want to check it out, see if it's time to go ahead and flip it. It's looking great. I mean, we've seen some color already. Seasons look good. Check that out. Woo. Little caramelization going on it. Building that bark. We're gonna get both sides cooking even, so we're just gonna give them all a flip. So we're just gonna get the lid closed and continue to cook. The first part of this process is about getting that smoke flavor, letting that fat render drip on those coals, building that bark. Then we're gonna wrap this jerk pork up, really get it tender, and then we're gonna caramelize that jerk sauce on it at the end. Y'all keep watching. We're 2 hours in, and man, it's smelling great. This drum has this jerk pork smelling and looking fantastic. That smoke clear out a little bit from that good hickory wood. Starting to get a good bark on it, man. It's doing its job. Check that out. That jerk pork is gonna be some good eats. Now we're just gonna close the lid and keep cooking. It'll be time to wrap before long. All right, we're about 3 hours in, and this jerk pork's got the color I want, so it's time to wrap it and get it tender. I just got my glove liners on underneath these nitrile gloves, and we're gonna pull these off, take them over to the cutting board, get them wrapped up. So the wrap process is super simple on this. I'm just gonna take one of these pieces of the pork butt, lay it on a piece of foil that I've tore off here, and wrap it up. Nothing to it. And check these out, man, that's beautiful. You know it's gonna be some good jerk pork. Bark's looking good on it. It's juicy, still got all that fat where it's rendered down. We're really fixing to break it down, make it tender. We're going right back on the pit. And at this stage, we're gonna keep it at 275, and it's probably only gonna take about an hour, 15, hour and 30 till they're tender. And they're already about 175 internal. I'm just wanting to cook them to where they still have some texture, not just completely falling apart. We'll glaze them here in just a little bit. All right, we've been cooking about 1 hour and 15 minutes. I'm gonna pull these pieces of jerk pork off. We're gonna unwrap them. I know it's gonna be time to glaze. They feel soft. So I put together this quick glaze that we're gonna use for our jerk pork, and it's just a real simple jerk sauce that I've used on Caribbean wings before. The recipe is gonna be popped right up here. It's got ketchup, brown sugar, some cider vinegar, all those things combined to make this spicy jerk sauce. And you can get it as mild or as hot as you want it. I use some hot sauce in it, but you can also add some habanero, some Scotch bonnet, whatever kind of peppers you want. You can take that level up if you like it hot. So all we do, you can see we've rendered out some of the juice in here. It's super tender. I mean, it smells amazing. And it's probably ready to eat right now if you wanted to, but I want to get it glazed up. I'm going to put it right back on the pit. So what I'm going to do is just take some of this sauce, and we're just going to brush it over the top. So the grill's still hot, still running about 275. We've got our jerk pork glazed up, ready to go back on. And it's not going to take very long. You just want to carefully transfer it right back to the grill. And we're going to need about 10-15 minutes is all to set this sauce, and then we'll be ready to show you how we're going to chop this jerk pork up, get ready to eat it. So after about 10-15 minutes, you can see that sauce is set on these, it's caramelized. You're starting to see those dark bits. These are ready to come off. Look at that little bit right there. I got to steal that right here at the pit. Ooh, that's good. Hot. Love it. All right, I just let the jerk pork hang out for a few minutes here on the cutting board. And to serve it, it's really simple. All you have to do is chop it up into whatever size pieces you like. In Jamaica or down in the Caribbean, I've had it just served in tin foil where they just chop it up, put it in the foil, wrap it up, and give it to you. Today, I'm gonna kind of do it in a pineapple bowl because I wanted to make some pineapple salsa. So let me just show you. I would just take some of this pork we've got and just rough chop it. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything fancy at all. Your knife or a little cleaver like this, go right through it. I mean, you just want it in bite-sized pieces. Because you want to eat all these succulent pieces. It's still got a little bit of the fat in it, but all of it's rendered, it's juicy as it can be. That piece is me right there, I don't care. That's good. I love those fatty bits. Got the caramelized outside, lean inside with a little bit of fat mixed in. Oh, that's awesome. So here's how I would serve it. What I did was I took a pineapple and just kind of cut a third of it off, and you can see I hollowed it out. I just made some cuts, dug it out. That's what I made this pineapple salsa with. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of this jerk pork, I'm just gonna put it right inside this pineapple. That looks like a serving good enough for me right there, but hey, I gotta have some of that bark right there. I'm just gonna pick that up, put that in there. I'd hit it with a little bit of the sauce, just because it's spicy. It gives it a little sweet and tangy kick right there at the end. And then for the pineapple salsa that we did, super simple. Fresh tomatoes, fresh onions, little jalapenos, cilantro, the insides of the pineapple. I just mixed it all up, seasoned it with a little salt and pepper. Put some of that right over the top of it. Maybe even a little extra scallion, just for some more color. I mean, that looks great. You can't beat that. Jerk pork, Caribbean style. Well, that jerk pork was that simple. We took a pork butt, had it cut into thirds, made up a Jamaican rub, seasoned the outside with it, got it on that drum smoker, 275, couple hours in the smoke, wrapped it up for tenderness, and then glazed it with that sweet and spicy jerk sauce. That easy. Cut it up, put it in the pineapple, that just looks beautiful, but I can't help but eat it right off this cutting board with a little extra sauce. I mean, look at that, that's beautiful. It's on. So thanks for checking out our video today here at HowToBBQRight. If you like what we're doing, subscribe to our channel. We're gonna be putting out new videos all year long. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We'll see y'all next time. Get some more of this pork. Man, it's better than Jamaica show. I need a red stripe, some peas and rice. I dig it.